Yeah, welcome back to Stuff or Whatever podcast. Your host, BQuanchi here. We have a very special podcast this week, but before we get started, I always like to say the best way to support me and the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube, you can follow on Twitch and Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. I do game streams on Twitch about twice a week, and those get uploaded back to YouTube channel as well as other Let's Play style uploads and stuff like that too. We'll get a little update on the channel, so I mentioned I did make a lot of shorts. A lot of it's been indie game demo impressions, is what I'm calling it. Just because, like, on Let's Play style, they do organize stuff on the channel as well, so you can go to a playlist and see when I play this that's dedicated to demos of indie games as well as playthroughs I done on uh, stream and all that. 'Cause some ideas I get for shorts is that, like, if I play like a indie game on stream whatever. I like to do like a quick review. It kind of depends. Like there's been a few times where I've done like a more full review. Like for example, the Terror of the Hemosaurus, Pizza Tower, all that. So I guess it kind of depends. So I do have some game reviews and some stuff I want to work on. I'm very lazy about some things. I think some of my like I don't know if you want to call it, like this one kind of like prevents me when I'm really hesitant about is that I feel like I still don't do like a great job if I do like more commentary stuff. So sometimes doing like random stuff, like if you call it random, but like this solo podcast where just talking off the cuff or what a lot of my like let's play stuff, even my streams are kind of like more game centric, just me playing the game and talk about stuff too. It kind of feels more natural. Like it's funny. With the shorts, I write them out, even though again very short. I just kind of write out like some quick things I want to say that you can like get my thoughts together, just because I want to be like concise and also you have like less than a minute. A lot of times they're like 30 to 50 seconds for the shorts, but I always hear that when it comes to creating content online is like shorts. You got to make shorts. So I feel like it kind of piggyback stuff. So like, hey, if I already played the game, especially with demos, so I think that's going to be a common theme. I am going to do some quick game reviews as well for later in October because last year I played some Halloween games. So like, oh, I'm just kind of reuse that any quick. So I'm going to do some quick game reviews that I Halloween related. Also, speaking of that, I'm going to do some Halloween streams, and it's just more like playing what more games themed to Halloween. Like, I think a lot of zombie stuff as well. Um, I did buy a game called Pumpkin Jack that I'm kind of looking forward to. A lot of stuff I'm kind of going into blind, but some stuff I got a good idea for. Like there's a version of the Oregon Trail that's like zombie related, a zombie apocalypse, and it's uh, not that no one's really listening or following, but some other games, Death Road to Canada is one. Uh, some games I kind of want to get, but I don't want to like spend like buying every other game. I'm gonna play Vampire Survivors too. I figured like, hey, they get a Halloween theme as well with the Dead Estate I want to play, but I never bought that. And I like kind of like when it's a hobby. Like I love games anyways, so if I want to play them, I'm gonna play them. But sometimes I'm a little hesitant. Not really hesitant, but just like I don't know, it feels kind of like what I'm gonna get out of it besides just playing the game. Like sometimes I wish there was more success and more viewership or more of a community and all that. So it's like I basically I don't want to get the mentality of saying, oh, I have to buy every game out there, like spend like a couple $100 on video games each month because that's going to make content for YouTube or that's going to make streams for Twitch. I'm going to get successful, and then that doesn't happen. I'm just like, oh shit, I'm out of like a couple $100 on video games that, of course, I want to play, but I think in moderation too because they have a backlog of stuff, and it's kind of a weird place too, where it's like I want to play this game, but I kind of want to save it till I can stream it just in case, like for this audience. And sometimes I don't know, it kind of makes it a fun experience. It's just me talking to pretty much no one for most of the time, but just like having I don't want to say cathartic, but just kind of having the experience of like it's not like sitting down playing the game, but like thinking out loud basically. But talking out loud is more adds to it in my sense. But that's just like my dumb updates for the channel. So I do add one more thing besides there's gonna be shorts. Um, probably for a month or two. It just depends on how much I can squeeze out. I still have more to record. Uh, I guess that's another thing too. Like I get in this habit of like I want to say perfectionist, but they're far from perfect. But there's so many times like I mess up. Like, hey, this idea, this is like the line or sentence I want to say, and I keep messing it up. Although I grew up with issues with speech and had years and years of speech therapy, so that I don't want to like lean on that for like an excuse, but that I think has some impact as well. But I think this getting this mindset might help me sell myself myself personally. So there's gonna be a lot of shorts. That's also gonna carry on to TikTok. I don't plug TikTok that much, and it's just mostly they like, hey, that's the basket I can place an egg in. So I don't expect too much for it, but like, hey, if it leads somewhere in terms of growth of a community or a channel or whatever. But also, I'm tempted to do more Let's Plays, like go back to twice a week. I did that for August, just because I just got so motivated and had like a backlog. Like I have now up to like November, and there's still stuff I want to record, and still stuff I have to edit. I'm not sure if this is even interesting to talk about, but it's like thinking maybe December, if not January, just like double it to do two uploads a week just to see that works. But I also need to channel this motivation to do a couple of video essays I want to do. I have to do a FNAF one that I'm been really wanting to make, but I haven't. I just besides collecting ideas in my head, uh, but that's not going to be the typical one you would expect when you talk about Five Nights at Freddy. But I also want to see the movie. I kind of want to do more Halloween focus stream, podcast, whatever. Um, but for now, that is just some like somebody updates on the channel. And I'm even doing this podcast. Like some things I don't think too much, but then I try to like think of uh current events or just like stuff that interests me. And sometimes I like completely forget to mention something because I mentioned, I think I took a week off. You guys who's listening, but the whole like Danny Masterson's things with that when the stars from that '70s shows and stuff like that, like not so good. But I forgot to mention the point that I had this on the radio too. But like, is that '70s show still worth watching? And my thought process of it is, I guess technically, yeah. I don't feel like he really made the show. I'm sure there was like a good handful of episodes, maybe even like a season where he got more focus or more um, screen time. And also, kind of like one of those weird persons because I did like watch. I don't think I caught the first two seasons right away, and then they were syndicated, so I kind of like watched a lot of it when I had to depend on cable TV. I know the last couple seasons, like maybe the last three seasons, I watched them as they were broadcasted and all that. But my thing with like sitcoms, maybe just like American sitcoms, is like if I watch it, I don't want to watch it again. Like it makes a good background noise. It's been a good while since I got rid of cable, but I don't know. There's always like you can get a better antenna and watch on TV. But don't people who like constantly watch Friends over and over, watch Office, like I don't get that. Like if I seen the episodes, like of course a lot of those episodes are very self-contained. It's not like a long drawn out series, although they have like some story beats or whatever you want to call it with relationships and stuff like that. But I feel like I don't need to watch that '70s show. Also, it's because I think I talked about when it first came out about that '90s show. I think that's still coming up with the second season because that was a Netflix original and a lot of cast. But of course, I thought it funny that it didn't have Danny Masterson at all. But this was before this shit really blew up. I can think if this was like when there was still like allegations or like stirrings and all that. I think that's funny, but that show's kind of. But also, they also had that '80s show that I tried to do. I'm not sure if it even lasted a season. If they uh only did like 3 or 4 episodes before he got canned, but they tried to like do that '80s show. But going down my point, I think that '70s show is still good. We haven't watched it, go for it. It's like one of those things like, hey, like people say all the time, like separate the art from the artist or the actor from the show, person, whatever. So it's kind of this weird become this day and age where it's like, hey, if some shit goes down with some person doing some really not cool stuff, it's like, it's gonna affect like the work they put out or been in at least in terms of that '70s show. But it did have some fun moments like with Cheech and Chong, not just Chong. I don't think Cheech was in it much, but I know Tommy Chong had a recurring character. Of course, like the whole Foreman family. I forget all the actors and names and all that, but Eric Foreman's parents, and they've been in a lot of stuff too. But also, like, I even heard stuff like with the Cosby Show. I'm not sure if do they still syndicate that because I think that got like really like axed off of like syndication or streaming, or maybe you can still find it just because of Bill Cosby. But it's like funny how these older shows get tainted by actions. Either the main star or one of the stars in it. But this one thought that one thread I forgot to tie from last time I did a podcast. One other tiny one is I talked about like the Nintendo Direct, and there was the game I'm interested in called Trombone Champ. I was like mentioning like I'm not sure the Switch version is going to be worth it. I think it would be really cool. I don't think anything's announced, but they did put Nintendo music in it. So I know like the PC Steam version, people do like custom charts and stuff like that on that. But I guess the one thing I guess I just completely like zone out. But with the Switch version, I didn't realize they had different ways you can play it with the controllers, like they do with the Joy Cons and the motion controllers. So I'm like, that's kind of interesting, but I might lean more towards the PC version. But I think also with the Switch version might be just more convenient to do like local play with multiplayer and all that. So I'm kind of curious. I might happen to look that up. If anyone does any videos or reviews of Trombone Champ, the PC versus the Switch version, because that'd be very interesting. So the next thing I want to talk about is related to Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it. A few things, but this it was kind of weird because like, I was getting these weird likes from some of my tweets or posts or whatever you call it. That's what I hate about the this is like a segue, a side note. Is I hate with the whole Twitter becoming X because then you have to like, it's almost like being bilingual. I'm not sure if that's even a decent metaphor, but you have to like talk to things like, oh, Twitter, no X, post, tweet, whatever. Twitter Blue, X Premium, X Video, X Hamster. I don't know. It's all jumbled up together now. But basically, I was getting these weird likes from an account called Hanna, and then I started to realize is like multiple Hanna accounts and all that. Um, so when I look at them, I'm not sure if they were bots or anything, because they all pointed to like I guess it was like a sex streaming site or whatever. I just didn't bother too much looking into it, just like a few seconds of curiosity. But I found it weird. It must have been like at least for me like four or five different quote unquote Hannah accounts. Some of them use the same profile picture, so like there was like two of them I saw, but also like each X account with the Hannah had like a link. Well, it had a name, and like it didn't even match the actual handle. Although they all went by Hannah for like the account name, which are different girls' names. So I'm like wondering why they kept using Hannah when they had like different names for each account and different links. I mean, even the accounts had the same posts and all that. Like, glad to be back on Twitter, and I guess you can call it, like sexy posts or whatever. Like nothing like too um, X rated for X.com and all that. But it's like, okay, this is kind of clear what it is. I thought it was also strange because they never like any of my posts. Just like when I apply to a post on a more popular account, seemed to be the trend with them. It's like I saw like one other post talk about it too, but it's like on the account called Hannah. It was like maybe some porn streaming site, whatever, cam girls. I have no idea. I didn't look too much into it, but seeing that it was all very similar. And then some of the handles just have like different names. It was like a girl's name and the number, and that matched the link or whatever to whatever website it was. And it's strange because I don't know if it's like a bot or a person. It could be a bot because it's funny because I'm not into women. I guess you could say I make that somewhat clear with my Twitter X account is that it's well, I have the little rainbow emoji for like LGBT in my character, whatever I call it, my little mascot for my brand. I'll call it a brand for the channel. The bear wears a pride hat, so it's like definitely not a huge like uh I forget what it's called. Like expression is like you're shooting at the wrong target or something like that. But yeah, it was just like always like some of them were like really old. Like I think one post was like maybe 1 or 2 years old, so I'm not sure where they're getting. That's why it seems so weird that it was random. Or maybe just like search stuff, or 'cause I know you can search like keywords with each Twitter X account, so you can see like, hey, like for Elon Musk, like how many times Elon Musk mentioned Dogecoin or something like that, or mention Saturday Night Live. Like you can see, um, I think it's kind of reliable. I did some cleanup on my Twitter from like old posts and stuff like that, just because like I'll try hard period with YouTube content and that. But yeah, but basically, there's these weird Hanna accounts that I guess were trying to promote cam girls or whatever, spam sites or whatever. And then they're like, oh, I'm going to talk about it this week. And then I think all the ones that liked my post are gone. They just disappeared. So I know like Elon Musk was also talking about like one, it's like an ongoing thing, like want to get rid of bots on X and stuff like that. Like looking at like, okay, there's less of these notifications, like the notification just disappeared. And not that I followed them, they never followed me. It's almost like a little disappointing, like, oh, I had some likes, some extra likes on my Twitter account, but just thought it was weird, and I'm not the only one, but I just don't know what the end goal is with that. Like who's Hannah? But it's just like I don't know. It's just my point is like some people trying to scam people or promote a site, or if it's like bots or something. Just because it seems so weird with like uh randomly liking very old posts that all of them have been replied, and I'm not the only one who's seen these as well. So comment below uh if you think Hannah's gone for good, if she's gone girl. Because all the notifications, and I haven't had a new one recently, but I just thought it was really weird. But it was also funny because this is like the same time it was trending on X Twitter that Elon Musk was planning to have everyone pay for the platform. And that got like really spread. And then community notes to save the day. I gotta get a little rant on that too, but community notes said like, hey, that was actually like an interview or something. I forget the details, but he mentioned the idea of having a cheaper premium option. Not that everyone can pay, not everyone has to be paid to use the platform, but thinking like separating the premium to cheaper tiers as well. They know like he was saying, oh, he wants to implement this that way that will destroy all the bots on the platform if everyone had to pay something uh, platform, but that's not the case. I did think it's funny that misinformation um, happens. The thing is, it's very believable. And yeah, going back to community notes, because I had some frustration earlier this week with social media, because I really like community notes. I even followed that one account, like community notes, violating people. I think I forget, but it's like a fun gimmick account. But I mentioned that because I did post a meme on Facebook, and with my Facebook, it's just my personal friend, so that's like totally separate from public thing. I post occasional meme on there too, but there was like that meme of that alien in Mexico. I think it was Mexico. All that, but it looked like totally fake ass. I forget the whole details, but it was like, hey, these are real aliens, and like I think it was like in Congress or in the government. Like I'm too bad at recounting the whole story, but somebody could joke like, "Oh, this alien is actually cake," like that. Those memes like, "Is it cake?" kind of thing. So they made like a meme of like, "Oh, that alien in Mexico was actually cake." And I took that meme, I posted on Facebook, and a few days later, I get a notification saying like, "Oh, fact checkers check this," and stuff like that. And it makes it seem like I'm spreading misinformation. Like, "Oh, your post's going to be less visible." Almost feels like I'm doing something bad, kind of thing. And it's like, dude, Facebook, that was a meme. That was an obvious joke. Like, I don't see that too much with Twitter community notes, but I love when they call stuff out. Like, there's one thing that, like, oh, this guy's bald, and like community notes, like, yeah, this guy's really bald. Stuff like that. Oh, what was the one like Elon Musk wants to kill himself? That was a funny community notes. But like, I feel like that happened before with Facebook and memes. When like a gay porn star beating up somebody. Oh yeah, it was like one like "Let's Go Brandon" kind of joke, but said it was like a guy did porn or something like that. And then like Facebook gets a notification from me like, oh, that's misinformation and stuff like that. Fact checkers, all that. So it's like, get a sense of humor. Like that's one thing. Like, uh, I don't use Facebook that much publicly, just more like family and keeping in touch. But I feel like Facebook fact checkers is like roll my eyes, annoying compared to community notes on um, X or Twitter. And next thing I want to talk about are some of the controversies that have been recently with Kick, that streaming platform. So that's a big one with Ice Poseidon. I know other people talked about it too, so it's like barely giving my 2 cents or just regurgitating what others have covered or said. But I think this was like in Australia, and they were having like a fan hook up with a escort, a paid escort, and it was going to get streamed. But it's also like very creepy in a way because Aiden and was it Sam Pepper or some other douchebag that used to be big on YouTube, and he's a total piece of shit. But they were like in the other room, and then the escort like got some messages, and she's like, "Oh, I'm not comfortable with this," and was gonna leave, all that. But some stuff is like, ooh, like not good. Like, I saw like regurgitating some of it from like the Philip DeFranco show when he covered it as well. Of course, she like a paid escort, and I don't think she really understood the gravity of the situation because I don't know, I didn't watch it, of course, but I think like Aiden, it's not Aiden Ross, Ice Poseidon, uh, like a videotape her like letting know like it is more like, hey, covering my ass 'cause I'm getting consent and explaining and stuff like that. And he was like explaining about having a camera and having it filmed, and she's like, oh, it would be $100 more. And then it felt like Ice Poseidon was gonna say more, elaborate more, and then she said like, oh, I don't care what you do with the video, and that's like stopped him in tracks. Like, yes, I don't have to explain because maybe he was trying to explain that hey, it's going to be streamed more publicly. Like at first, I didn't quite know if he was aware that it was being streamed versus being filmed and all that. But then also saw Cimentos Ken talk about it too for like one of his uploads, and just point like the fan, whatever that who she was gonna hook up with, said like get him for the stream. So it feels like she knew it was gonna be streamed. This is like so many adult sites that do that anyways, like cam girls, cam boys, and all that. Uh, but I guess she did. I'm thinking she didn't understand like it's gonna be such a wide audience and what kind of platform is gonna be, and especially with like the variety of Ice Side and all that. So like that's not good. And then like the worst part is that when she was leaving, the guy was kind of blocking her way. Like, no, no. Like if you know you're being filmed, you not block someone's exit. 'Cause I guess like his deal is like, oh, I paid you and stuff like that. But I think it was Iceberg side. I don't think the fan lost any money on it. So don't act like you're gonna lose out. It's like one of those things like it was kind of like clipped and stuff like that in a way. Like Iceberg's like, you don't know, you have to let it go. Like it was an extremely stupid idea in the first place, and there was even claims that it got swatted and stuff like that. I think there's like police don't even know what's going on, but I think the cherry on top of it is that during the stream, like of course not much happened because she got those messages and left, but the CEO of Kick was in a chat like emoting and stuff like that. And what even makes it even worse is that the guidelines with Kick is like this type of content is prohibited. Like you're not supposed to do like sexual content, stuff like that. Like you can probably go out. I probably don't know all the ins and outs because they don't bother with Kick, but I'm sure it runs with like any other platform as well, unless it's like meant to be a pornographic platform for whatever live streams or uh, for live audience, but like that's like content you're not supposed to do. Like that's no in terms of the rules. And the CEO is like emoting in the chat. So like I know like Kick put a statement about it too, but it's like what were you thinking? Like that's the things you're not supposed to do on the streams. And then like the CEO is like applauding it in a sense. And so I think that was just like really dumb. I think this speaks a lot about the platform as well. Because there was other Kick stream that I didn't watch, but I know there's a huge buzz about it. I mentioned his name because I was thinking about it too. But Aiden Ross had like an quote unquote interview with Kim Jong Il or whatever, the North Korea guy, and it was totally fake. Like, well, I barely even paid attention to it besides some tweets about it because I think the funniest thing, but like I heard about like the little poster about promoting the stream. I think like a few hours before it broke that his manager followed a impersonator's account. It's like, oh, we know what this is going to be. It's going to be an interview with an impersonator and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm so glad. I think that's just hilarious that I got um, spoiled before the big interview stream. But yeah, and then I feel like there was like, oh, there's so many views and so much audience, and I'm not sure like how that translates as well. Like, who would check in and check out, or just morbidly curious, like, okay, we know this is pointless and all that. Like, I'm not sure if there's any like real world consequences. Because what if the real guy got upset? It is funny that also the impersonator doesn't look too much like him in the first place. Like, I guess kind of, but you can tell it's an impersonator, which makes it even more funnier and all that. But like there's been other stuff before, and I know I think I I was gonna say what did Twitch do? Like there's something like Twitch got like in a lot of flack for. I think it was just like more like revenue sharing or stuff like that. Like they were changing um in terms of its creators and subscriptions and meeting thresholds and stuff like that. I forget like people got there was a point that people got so mad at Twitch that they were like really bumping up Kick and stuff like that. But like I said, I was like, Kick could have been like a platform that might be tempting to have like an extra egg, an extra basket kind of thing. But this feels like it just devolved into like a wasteland of deplorables. So the a lot of people make a lot of money, and platform's still like kind of big and all that. But like when you hear like they spend like what was 100 mil for XQC and then kind of seeing a sneak peek at his content. It's like, really? You think that's talent? I guess I know place to really talk is I'm not nobody, but this kind of feels like okay, those are like your big stars, and it's like, so what? And I guess in their defense, like I'm seeing like small cherry pick clips or comments or points of views online, so it's not like I'm really like care to research all the goods and bads, pros and cons of like Ice Poseidon, Aiden Ross, and XQC. But this is like, if those are like the big talent, quote unquote, on the platform, it's not a platform I want to be on, even though I probably wouldn't even be noticed. Even though I said before, I just find it really suspicious too that like they give some of these creators a huge, generous deal to have them. I think even with the XQC, he's not exclusive, but I forget the exact details. And then also like the revenue sharing is like extremely generous. It's like, dude, they're like laundering money or something sus because I know that some gambling websites like back it or whatever. Like it seems very fishy and all that. So nothing I want to really do with. And this one thing I want to rant about is I'm not sure if anyone heard this term before. I was because this kind of like my lack of a dating life, but sometimes seeing profiles and apps and stuff like that that I feels like it's just wasting my time than anything else. But came across the term known as I believe it's sapiosexual. I'm probably mispronouncing that, which is funny because it's meant like I guess the definition of it is to be sexually attractive to intelligence. And I don't know if it's just me. Someone has to chime in or let me know. Like that sounds like the most pretentious shit I ever heard. Like a word for being sexually attracted to intelligence. Because don't get me wrong. Like being smart is attractive. Being smart is sexy. Like I'd rather someone be have common sense, be intelligent, and versus being completely dumb as bricks. Like I think I have a good amount of common sense and intelligence, but then again, I'm also a dumbass. And I'm acknowledging that, so that does make me smart. I feel like that term just like is like again so pretentious and all that, and it just feels like a huge turnoff to me. So if anyone else wants to chime in, like if that's a huge turnoff to someone. It feels like smug, like, oh, I need smart people and intelligence and all that. Because also, I just feel like that's very off-putting. Like, even if someone did view themselves as very smart, they didn't can get very self-conscious about like, oh, this guy's looking for someone who's really smart, and like, am I going to be smart enough? Is my IQ, my intelligence going to be good enough for this guy? Like being gay, and like any other male, straight, male, female, whatever, by wherever you are on the spectrum of things. But it feels like, oh, I'm insecure about my body. Am I attractive enough? Am I thin enough? Am I big enough? Are my swimming body parts sufficient enough? Whether it be my junk downstairs or my stomach, am I hairy enough? Am I smooth enough? Am I old enough? Am I young enough? And then now I have to worry about, am I smart enough? It just feels like a level of toxicity when it comes to uh, not as LGBT, gay, whatever, but it just seems like in a dating sphere, that not only does it feel smug and pretentious, but also just feels like another level of toxicity. Like, people talk about masculine toxicity when it comes like being buff and in shape and all that. I guess do they just seem more for like women with being thin and like big boobs, nice butt and stuff like that. Like a lot of like body image stuff, like expectations. I guess is toxic in a sense, but that's like my 2 cents. Like, if someone has to back me up, like, is sapiosexual saying like, again, it's fine to see those qualities of like intelligence and smart, common sense, very attractive to the partner, because I do feel that way. But I'm gonna say I'm a sapiosexual. I'm not gonna put that in my profile. That's like that's dumb as I was gonna say that's dumb as shit. It's not supposed to be dumb because it's supposed to be smart, but I assume that the people who do use that term in the profile are pretty smart. So if they're attracted to smart people sexually, then they could just go fuck themselves. And last tiny thing I want to talk about on this podcast, because I saw, I feel like part of my segments on this is like, oh, I saw this on this channel, all that. But there's a video that Papa Meat did about Neat Nest, and Neat, I think that stands for no experience, employment, or training. Um, And I see, I get the idea too, like someone who just like stays in a room and play video games all day and all that. Even seeing like, I don't, Papa Me did a good video summarizing some of like some clips from other videos. Like a lot of trends is that they have like very dirty like areas, um like so many dirty dishes. There's like bugs. There's a lot of like cans of like energy drinks or cups of McDonald's or bottles of Coke. And even the worst thing is a lot of them are used to piss in and all that. So instead of going up to the bathroom, they pee, and then it's like they just leave it there. Like they could have at least take it with them and dump it in a toilet or something like that. Like that just blows my mind. I don't get it. Like the worst I do when I stream, I might have like a couple cans of beer, and I just like eventually because usually like, when I'm done streaming, I just make dinner and stuff like that, and I just go back and get the cans and put them in sink, rinse them out and all that. Uh, so never like more than a night. Like usually, because when I finish my streams, my dogs bug me, so I have to walk them. So I'm not like cleaning up, and usually just like a few cans of that. But in seeing these videos, like it's like things like some person was like smoking. You can see like the whole computer keyboards covered in ash in the area, and like there's so much cans and dishes. Like it was even funny one that he would show like someone was like cleaning up a little bit. Like, oh, that's it for the day. Is like you barely picked up 2 bowls, and everything still looks trashy. So I guess like I think like how to get to that point in your life that you think that's acceptable. And I think even one said like he had a girlfriend or whatever. I think one said like lived home with his dad, and it's like look into a bizarre world as well, because I feel like I constantly have this mentality or almost anxiety, like I need to keep making money, at least have secure income, not like hustle culture or anything like that. Like I need steady jobs, I need to make sure I work my job, have fun hobbies too, or this and that. But I can't imagine playing video games constantly and not going to work or not going to a job. Who knows? Maybe these people do get money off of stream and Twitch and YouTube videos or Let's Plays or whatever. But I think it's just crazy to be in that situation, especially like the whole peeing cup and then not doing anything. Like I never do that. I also like don't want to risk trying to pee in something and then it gets spilled and dealing because I would clean it up. I have a roommate too, so it's a shared space. I have my own area too, but I like there's been a few times where I have to get up on stream to use the bathroom just because a lot of times I drink, sometimes I have like a beer or two or whatever, but it's like no, I'm adult. I'm a human being. Just use the fucking bathroom. Imagine how many like people use diapers and stuff like that. So it's just like crazy. Like first of how these neat nesters think that's acceptable. Like why don't they clean up? Why do you, I don't know. And then financially, how can they do it? Like I think that's part of me just like a little jealous. Like how can you like sustain that lifestyle? That's it just seems so bizarre to me, and I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. But then also, I think the most craziest part, like why film this neat setup? Why film this and put it online? Like, do they not understand how awful that is? How messy that is? Piss cups, loads of dirty dishes, and cups and cans, and all that. But that just seems like bizarre to me. Like Florida Florida man meth addict crazy to me when it comes to people who do like this neat nest culture or whatever you want to call it. But that'll do it for this week's podcast. So thanks for listening. Again, the best way to support me in the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my other stuff. Again, Let's Plays coming out on the reg. I might double it up for December or January. It's got some stuff I want to like record and film and whatever. Other stuff I'm lazy about, but also there's going to be a lot of shorts as well. And that tickles on the TikTok if you care. But I think I have all the links in. I should put my TikTok in the description of my videos. That's on about on the channel, but I think maybe I should push that, even though I'm not sure if people on YouTube watching YouTube care about opening up the description, looking at all those social links, but I'm kind of get the habit of doing that just because I'm, even though it's more TikToks, it's like I'm throwing an egg in the basket. That's also in the YouTube shorts. But anyways, that will do it for this week. So y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Bye.